Hello, ladies and gentlemen, in this house today. Today, we're going to see the problem that people are eating unhealthy food so many times when they're watching the sporting event, such as Olympic, World Cup. And people are going to these places to watch the sport in the season so many times, and they keep eating unhealthier food so many times that they at the end of the day they get disease such as obedience or like that. And to prevent this kind of situation and to give a healthier lifestyle for them, we're proud to propose. Today, this house all liberal democratic country that we are banning the sport. We are banning unhealthier food industry to sponsor the sporting event. And unhealthy food and drink industry means like fast food or fast food and this kind of food shops. And sponsoring means give money to those sporting event committee to make sure that they can have the broadcasting such as commercial, or they sell their food or drink more price in those kind of sporting events, such as providing food and drink and selling this kind of food. This is our definition. So today we have two arguments. Firstly, I will talk about why unhealthy food industry shouldn't sell or advertise themselves in those sporting events in order to save people's healthier life. And secondly, I will talk about how the people who often go to those sporting events can have the healthier lifestyle after this motion. So let me explain one by one. The first point: the government have the duty to make sure that people have the healthier life, and the government has to prioritize the people's healthier life over the company's benefit. And those kind of unhealthier food company selling their advertise themselves and sell their food in those sporting events by monopolizing themselves. And on the other hand, they promote themselves that they are sponsoring the team sport, and they make themselves look like selling the healthy food and so on. And the government shouldn't allow this kind of thing. Same analogy that tobacco company, they can sponsor that. No, thank you. They can sponsor those. They pay money and they sponsor, but the government shouldn't allow them government university school don't allow them to do the advertisement and broadcasting on the TV, because the people will see, and because the people will see and they tend to buy. And I will further explain my second argument. So for this reason, the government has simply banned this kind of advertisement. And in this case as well, they sell so unhealthier food, and at the end of the day, they tend to have obedience or this kind of diseases. That is why the government shouldn't allow unhealthy food and drink industry to advertise or sell their food with sponsoring in those sporting events. And I will move on to the second point. So how we will change the people's people's lifestyle healthier. Okay.
Why do you focus on the only sport event? Why do you ban all?
Okay, I will explain in my second argument. So the sporting event, and there are let's talk about the people who come to the sporting event. They go to those sporting event and they watch those sporting event so many times during the season. For example, like a football or soccer. There are so many games, and the people follow and watch those games. That is why they watch so many times. This is the uniqueness of the sporting event. and what kind of environment they are in. Like they are so enthusiastic towards the game, and the game itself is so long. Like for example, soccer, it's like 90 minutes game, and even basketball, like football, it's so long. That is why the people tend to buy like the food and drink there. And what kind of food they buy there? Just because like the sponsoring a company also unhealthy food, sell unhealthy food or unhealthy drink by monopolizing. It's like a high oily food, like easy tend to get obedience or those kind easy get obedience, or it contains so high fat thing, and they tend to buy those things over and over. So and they, at the end of the day, they will get so unhealthy lifestyle, and they will get obedience and this kind of diseases. So how we change this situation? After the motion, the unhealthier, sponsoring company can sell the unhealthier food. But there are still demand for the food, as I explained, that they want to buy those food. And in order to satisfy this demand, like there will be the company which sells like sandwiches or any other healthier food, or the people bring the food or cook food themselves and to bring it. And we say those foods are much healthier, and the people tend to buy those kind of food. So what is the consequence? After the motion, like people's health, like those people who tend to go and watch games so many times during the season, lifestyle will be improved so dramatically. How? That's because people now will buy and eat healthier food like sandwiches or the food they cook themselves. And we decrease the obedience, or we decrease those unhealthier situations, and the people get those kind of diseases. That is why we'll be proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So the reading is that by taking this proposal, the freedom of the economy is stopped by taking this proposal. So therefore, we believe the government should not intervene in such the freedom of economy. And moreover, we say by taking this proposal, the company lose the profit. So therefore, this is affect the whole economy. So that's why we should not take this proposal. So nextly, I'd like to refute what the previous speaker has said. So we have two refutations. The first week, he said that the government should intervene in such the sponsoring the sports event because this oil food is the effect for the health or so forth. However, this is not true because no, thank you. Because in status quo, the citizens don't know about such the danger of the oil food or the junk food because they go through the compulsory education or if the children want to eat such the oil food, the parents will stop such the eating or so forth. So therefore, we can say that this is the informed choice for the people. So therefore, the government should not intervene in such choice. And so therefore, this point is the first point. So therefore, I'd like to explain later. No, thank you. And secondly, he said that by taking this proposal, the citizen will shift to the healthy food. So therefore, the citizen can eat the healthier food or so forth. No, thank you. However, we don't think so because even take this proposal, the citizen can just watch such the advertisement in the other place, other commercial or so forth. So therefore, even take this proposal, such the citizen has the incentive to continue to eat the junk food. So therefore, no thank you. So therefore, we can solve that problem by taking this proposal totally. So therefore, their argument totally does not stand. No thank you. So having refuted, I'd like to explain our point. So we have 2 points. The first point is that how this proposal disturb the freedom of economy. Why government should not intervene in such the economy? No thank you. And second point is that how this proposal the company lose the profit. So I'd like to explain one by one. So let's move. No thank you. When we move on our first point, so with the opening opposition side strongly believe that the government should not intervene in such the freedom of the economy. That this is not the case to intervene the freedom of economy. Why? Because as I said before, such the liberal democratic country citizen goes through the compulsory education. So therefore, no thank you. They can know about such the danger or the oily food. They learn about the nutrition or the no thank you, something like that. So therefore, this is the important choice for the people. And moreover, if the children or such the immature people want to eat the junk food, the other person like the parents can stop such the eating. You should not eat the junk food too much or so forth. So therefore, we believe no thank you. That all people can know about the danger or the junk food. So therefore, no thank you. So therefore, we even we don't take this proposal. Such that people can stop to eat too much eat the junk food too much. So therefore, we should not take this proposal. No thank you. So next year, I'd like to move on our second point. How this proposal company lose the profit for the economy. So under the status quo, such the people no thank you. People that watch the sports event or people go to the sports event. Such the people can people watch the advertisement for the junk food. So after that, they want to eat such the junk food in status quo. And also, no thank you. For the company, this is one of the big chance to advertise their new product because such the sport event, a large number of people, no thank you, watch the sports event. Like for example, the Olympics, they can watch the audience rating is very high. So therefore, because such the Olympic is conducted once in the whole year. So therefore, this is for the company. This is the big chance to advertise their profit, their product under the status quo. However, after taking this proposal, what will happen? So after taking this proposal, the company cannot sponsor advertise their product. So therefore, many people cannot watch such advertisement. So therefore, they lose the profit by taking this proposal. So why this point is so serious? Because the company is the actor that contribute to the society. If the company loses the profit, they cannot pay the salary for the people, or this is the effect for the whole economy. So therefore, the government should not intervene in such the freedom of economy. So therefore, we like to oppose this motion. Thank you.
Today's our stance is that freedom economy is important, but it is not absolute. As long as it harms to a lot of people's health, we should restrict such freedom of economy. Even if there is a compulsory education, we have to restrict such freedom of economy as long as it is so harmful. First of all, I will show you several rebuttals. Today, she said that freedom of economy is absolute because there is compulsory education, there is informed choice. Therefore, company can do anything as they want. Wow, cool. But as you see the reality, it is not that true. As my partner clearly mentioned that why there is a restriction of the advertisement. Why there is a restriction of the advertisement of the tobacco? Why there is a restriction for the advertisement of the alcohol? It is because even if there is a very good compulsory education, even if citizen has a knowledge about the danger of the alcohol, citizens tend to commit the irrational choice and irrational actions. Therefore, there is a restriction for such unhealthy things such as alcohol or the tobacco. In these cases, we believe that we should, in the aspect of the sports event, we should apply such restriction for the companies. I will explain this point as a reconstruction later. And secondly, she said that after taking this proposal, company used the advertisement. It is so harmful. We believe that even if company lose the profit, it is only the McDonald's or such unhealthy food and drink industry. But on the other hand, the problem under the status quo is that a lot of people in the citizens, ordinary citizens. Therefore, in the impact level, today our second argument is superior than the company's profit. And secondly, there is a contradiction from the opposition's bench. Firstly, she said that even after taking this proposal, company will keep on advertisement in the town or the ordinary place or something like that. There is no situation will change. But on the other hand, she said that company will lose the big chance on the advertisement or something like that, which is true. I cannot understand what they want to say. Therefore, their argument totally does not stand. Next, I move on to the reconstruction of my partner's argument. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know that the purpose of the sport is the encouraging health, and company support such sporting event in order to encourage a lot of people's health. But on the other hand, such company spread the unhealthy food for a lot of people, a lot of audience. It is the double standard in the sports area. We believe that in the aspect of the sports event, such people who commit to such sports event should enhance the healthy for the citizens because it is the purpose of the sporting event. Therefore, in the current situation, such unhealthy food industry and drink industry committing a double standard of their own, we should solve such strange situation. Therefore, we should take this proposal. Then I move on to the second reconstruction of my partner's second argument. After taking this proposal, we can eradicate the monopoly of the unhealthy food industry at the sporting event. Therefore, what will happen? Under the status quo, such audience of the sporting event have to buy unhealthy food or drink because it is only because McDonald's monopolize such sporting event. Therefore, such food or drink is all from the McDonald's. In such situation, audience have to buy unhealthy food and drink. But after taking this proposal, what will happen? Such unhealthy food and drink industry cannot sponsor any sporting event. Therefore, after taking this proposal, there will be no monopolizing for unhealthy food or drinks. Therefore, audience will not have to buy the food or the unhealthy food and drink, even if they want to drink something or they want to eat something. It is the solution. It is a solution because as long as such people don't have to buy unhealthy food and drink, such people's health condition will increase. Sit down. Therefore, it is beneficial. Things. And secondly, I move on to the third reconstruction. What is a sporting event? Ladies and gentlemen, sporting event is held in the stadium or the sporting arena or the other special places. In such places, there is no restaurant or the convenience store in the such stadium or the sporting arena. Therefore, there is no other place to get the food or the drinks. And secondly, my partner mentioned that there is an enthusiasm of the excitement of the sporting. And such sporting event is a long time. Therefore, even if they get thirsty or they get hungry, they cannot buy food. They have to buy the food in such stadium, in the stadium or in the sporting arena. But, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, that as long as game is keeping on, they cannot go out from the stadium. In such situation, in such conditions, audience have, under the status quo, audience have to buy the food or drinks in the stadium, in the sporting arena. But in such places, unhealthy food and industry monopolize the such situation. Therefore, audience have to buy McDonald's unhealthy hamburger or something like that. It is the bad situation. But after taking this proposal, as long as we can solve the monopolized situation, such audience's health condition will increase. Therefore, we should take this proposal. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Madam Speaker, and hello everyone in this house today. Today we on the opposition side don't say the freedom of economy is absolute. However, what we are saying that today's case is not the case that government can intervene for freedom economy, because today's plan will not the solution of the unhealthy of the citizens. Moreover, today's plan just lose the company's profit. Therefore, we strongly oppose the model. Firstly, I'd like to refute what the previous speaker has said. He said in the stadium, the McDonald's or such fast food company monopolized. Therefore, the citizens have to choose such food. However, it is totally not true, because in the stadium, spectator also likes the such fast food, because firstly, it is much easier to eat. No, thank you. As stadium, because as for the hamburger or such thing, it is easy to eat by bring to the seat and nothing to having by their hands. And moreover, it is much cheaper in case of fast food. Therefore, they can buy ticket and they can buy food because it is much cheaper than other foods. And therefore, for the spectator, they are also enjoying they also enjoying the fast food itself. And moreover, the government side say that the fast food company monopolized. Therefore, other healthier company cannot become sponsor. However, it is not true, because even the such fast food company become sponsor. However, it doesn't mean other company cannot become sponsor. Therefore, the case it doesn't stand. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, I'd like to reconstruct my partner's point. Today, I have made mainly three things to talk about. Firstly, I'd like to explain about the status quo. Today's plan, the solution of the status quo, and why today's plan, and the sponsoring is not the case to no, thank you. The sponsoring is not cause of the health problem. And secondly, I'd like to talk about the alternative way, even if there is health problem. And thirdly, I'd like to extend my partner's analogy of the tobacco to why it is not why tobacco is not good analogy. No, thank you. And now I'd like to explain one by one. The first issue is about spectators. Actually, there is spectator who likes eating the fast food. However, they don't eat the fast food every day just because of sponsoring. Even they look at the sponsor, the commercial message, or they go to the stadium. However, it is short term, and they look at the advertisement and they pick up that they want to eat in the short term or during the sport event like World Cup or Olympic is held. Therefore, just because there is sponsoring, it doesn't mean that the sponsoring makes students' health bad. Even if no, thank you. Even if students who eat fast food, no, thank you, too much exist. However, the cause of the problem is totally different. As for such people, their lifestyle, no, thank you, lifestyle of the food is bad. Therefore, today's plan will not. No, thank you. No, today's plan will not become the motivation to change. Will not change their motivation. Therefore, today's plan will not become the solution. Yes, closing.
Could you make your stance clear? Do you agree that discouraging unhealthy food lifestyle, food and drink is a good thing?
What we're saying is that actually unhealthy food, like fast food, is bad. However, it is the consent and it is the choice for students. They know that the unhealthy food is nothing bad. However, they like. And I will explain in third point that why tobacco and fast food is totally different. And therefore, today's plan is not the solution. And secondly, I'd like to explain about alternative way that if even there is unhealthy people, it is not. Today's plan is not good way. No, thank you, because if there is unhealthy people because of the habitat of food, then the government can educate in the school or they can advertise in the TV program that what kind of food people should eat and why students should eat more vegetable or why we should restrict the oily food. No, thank you. Therefore, as long as there is nothing alternative way that we can solve the people who too much the fast food. Therefore, today's plan is not necessary. And thirdly, I'd like to explain about the tobacco why tobacco is not good analogy. My partner clearly told you actually there is unhealthy thing, it is okay. However, the tobacco is not good analogy because as for the tobacco, why government restricts the advertising or why the government discourage? This is because the tobacco has addictiveness for citizens. Therefore, if the citizens smoke tobacco, then it is too late after they use. And moreover, it is very difficult for citizens to stop this. However, in case of the fast food, it is totally different. It doesn't have addictiveness, and if they don't want to eat the fast food, then they can stop eating. Therefore, today's plan is totally different, and today's plan doesn't have any solution and just lose the profit of the company. Therefore, we strongly oppose today's model. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In 2008, when we had World Baseball Classics in Japan, McDonald's had a strong tie and has sponsored World Baseball Classics. And the advertisement of McDonald's has appeared daily. In those cases, we believe there is a link between the sponsoring and lifestyle choices. And that link is, we believe, something discouraged. That's why we propose. I'll be talking about two extensions from the closing government. One, I'll talk about why we have discouraged unhealthy food and drink industry, which directly clashes with the opening up analysis of freedom of companies. We believe freedom of companies, yes, it's important, but we say there is a reason to discourage unhealthy food and lifestyle, unhealthy food and drink. Second one, I want to explain why banning sporting event is an effective avenue, which is a question which has been raised from closing opposition, because they said why it has to be a sporting event. I'll provide you with an answer, and I'll be combining my rebuttals with my extension. So let's go on to the first point. On to the first of why we have discouraged unhealthy food and lifestyle. Because the opening up's bulk of analysis was like this. They're informed and they can choose, so it's fine. But on the other hand, they explicitly said, in my return to my point of information, it's important that this kind of unhealthy food and drink is a bad thing. This means, as a consensus, we have discouraged unhealthy food and drink to the maximum extent. We have two reasons why. Firstly, we believe the extent of damage is detrimental, not only to the individuals, but also to the society as a whole. Because becoming obese, always there is a direct health damages. And examples could be, for example, having obesity has a higher possibility to get diabetes or heart strokes, or even have high blood pressures. I'm not going to obviously argue that suddenly becoming obese would lead to death, but there is a linkage. For example, you need more medical treatments, or you need to go to hospitals more constantly. That much is there, and sometimes it does lead to fatal diseases. And moreover, there is a societal damage as well, because every government, every liberal democracy, even like the United States, has certain level of medical system, of Medicare and Medicaid, right? In case of Japan, we have national healthcare system. The burden has to be put on the shoulders of the government, right? Moreover, if people are unhealthy, they're unable to serve society as much as they want to, which directly leads to the extent of societal benefit that they were able to get. And then that's why we have to do to the maximum extent. The opposition leader said, well, the addictiveness is different from tobacco and unhealthy food and drinks. So even the addictiveness differs, but extent of damage is still similar, right? Like tobacco leads to unhealthy situation where there is a higher possibility of lung cancer, etc. Just like that, extent of harm is as big, which cannot be neglected. This is why, for example, we put extra taxes on tobacco and alcohol already under the current paradigm. That same tax exists to discourage unhealthy food and drink in the first place. This is why, for example, we banned Coca-Cola from play part in the movie, right? We have banned the United States, so Coca-Cola cannot appear within the movie because there exists a link there. Just like that, we say it's consistent with our prime principle. But secondly, the second reason why is the uniqueness of junk food and drinks, which is our extension. We have three uniqueness of junk food and drinks. One, it tastes well, ladies and gentlemen. It means people are able to access quite easily. Because having oil is scientifically proven. We love those kind of foods. This is why we already eat French fry or fried chicken, etc. We want sugar when we're wanting to relieve stress. That exactly, there's an easy way to access that. That's why there has to be an extra high bar in the first place. Secondly, junk food and drink is extremely very cheap because there's so much demand by individuals, right? That an oil and sugar, you can do mass production already under the current paradigm. And potato chips, for example, cost less than 100 yen a day, ladies and gentlemen. So it's very, very cheap. It can be accessed so easily. If you go to the United States, it's even the vending machine which children can even buy. That's the extent of cheapness, ladies and gentlemen. Third of all, the uniqueness of this is quite handy, ladies and gentlemen. It can be eaten very easily. Unlike other foods which you have to take extra time to cook or extra time to prepare for, it's very easy and you can eat it at any time. This is why, since unhealthy food and drink is something people can easily jump to, that's why we need to take an extra step there. That's why we need to discourage unhealthy food and drink industry. So moving on to our second point. Go ahead.
Or just looking at advertisement, it calls their unhealthy lifestyle.
That nicely leads me on to our second extension. Why banning sporting events is an effective avenue? Because opening up magic counter proposal analysis was education would be enough. One, we couldn't hear how
how the alternative works, but here's the answer. We have 3 reasons why sporting events is an effective avenue. 1, the number of audience is extremely big, ladies and gentlemen. It seems a consensus already already in this debate. For example, in case of Olympics, where it happens only once every 4 years, or in case of Super Bowls, where 50% of 50% United States citizens watch it. The number of people who watch this is extremely big, which counters education, which is only systematically targeted for children, which is a small segment of society. On this hand, you target everyone, ladies and gentlemen. To that extent, people are affected by that. In case of World Baseball Classic, when Ichiro was hitting, 38 to 40% of Japanese citizens were watching. That extent is how much people are watching. So that's how much effect there exists. Second of all, it's very, very easy to have our normalization and tolerance to our junk food industry. Because, for example, in case of this, in case of World Baseball Classics, in case of Japan, we constantly see the advertisement conducted by McDonald's. Firstly, in the way of advertisement in TVs, but secondly, for example, it was explicitly written on the uniform of the car and logo of McDonald's, which individuals see at all times. Or in cases, it's much, much easier to make tie-ups, right? Because, for example, McDonald's has provided individuals with tickets to World Baseball Classic, which encourage individuals to go to McDonald's and buy a ticket and also consume food there. That's why it's very easy to normalize that idea. Third of all, you can implicitly change the image of brand, because as a fact, there are certain negative image toward McDonald's or such things. But this is an effective way to change the negative image to a certain extent. Why? Because it provides you with the implicit analysis or implicit message that we are together here for the Japanese team, etc. It's not very, obviously it's not we're not going to think directly, but people implicitly think, thanks to McDonald's, we're able to see those World Baseball Classics, and thanks to this McDonald's, Japanese citizens are able to enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, there is good, because there is a positive image already attached to our sports, and that positive image will be also attached to McDonald's, etc. as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we provided you analysis of why we have discouraged, especially in case of sporting events. That's why we propose.
Mr. Speaker, what I have to do in this debate is to respect the citizen's choice, even if that citizen are choosing the unhealthy food in the theater or in the event or sporting event and so on. So we want to respond to the entire government case about the sponsoring directly and strongly code diseases other people. They say the uniqueness or the changing images and so on. But that is the uniqueness or the stating and so on. But it is not important in debate. But firstly, the unhealthy food is not so bad for the people. But what is unhealthy food? The only even if they eat the amounts of food, amounts of such food, or even if such people frequently eat such food, they get diseases. Just when that case, they get diseases. So in this case, this proposal banning the just a sporting event, so it is not effective to the health of the people. And moving on to my moving on to the second response about the expression of the unhealthy food. Sure. The expression of the unhealthy is over and over exaggerated one. And firstly, it is not so bad to the citizen's health. And even if it is bad, even if the food or drink is considered unhealthy, this is not directly and strongly harm to the citizen.
On what point?
And I have two reasons. And the first is the time. Even if this proposal is affecting only 2 hours or 3 hours in a week, in a year, it is a few times to cause disease to the citizen. And secondly, there is a choice. Even in the skater, they can choose the oranges and the apple and the other and the fruit and so on. That is healthy to the citizen. So what I showed you is they are not the such food or drink in the stadium is not monopolized by unhealthy food. Because the stadium want to offer the variety of the food even in the stadium. Even if there is a monopolized unhealthy food, a citizen can go out of the stadium to buy healthy food to the body of the citizen. Moreover, they can enter the stadium with possessing the healthy food. Go to the stadium. Moreover, I want to show the alternative way to, for example, introducing the limitation, the regulation to the all the unhealthy food in the sporting event. The why we have to ban all activities, the all sponsoring in the sport event. The reason is not coming from the entire government. And moving on to my next response to the difference of the tobacco and the alcohol. On that later. I will show you the difference of the tobacco and the fast food. And tobacco itself contains toxic or addictive materials and substances itself. Even if you type usage of this, then this causes huge damage to the body of the citizen. So we should ban the advertisement or commercialing or such tobacco or alcohol and so on. But on the other hand, what is a fast food? Before I told you again that there is the difference between the fast food and other food. Just the amount of materials, just amount of oil or salt. So there is not important. There is difference is only the amount of the oil and the salt. So what I told you. That unhealthy food, they said, is not so bad to the citizen.
For information.
Yes.
Okay, regardless of time or choices or regulation, given the fact that banning advertisement decreases the viewer and decreases the profit, as opening up has said, you agree that having advertisement affects certain viewers and certain consumers, right?
Oh yes. I admit that to some extent that the banning of the advertisement causing the limitation or fast food and so on to the citizen. But what I told you, what I have to do is to respect the citizen choice even in the stadium. So I want to introduce new analysis in this debate. And lastly, I want to point out the contradiction or the opening opposition. They said after taking a proposal, there is many places who managing the fast food and the unhealthy food. So there is no uniqueness or sporting event. They said this is a contradictory stance or the opening opposition. Later. Moving on to my next matter, that is a new material in this debate. Opening opposition just said there is a compulsory education that is enough for the citizen to consider rationally. But I want to introduce a new analysis in this debate. Citizen choice should be respected and government should not intervene the choice of the citizen. Because citizens are not easily influenced by the advertisement or sponsoring. Later. Are not easily influenced by the advertisement and so on. Citizens don't tend to choose unhealthy food in this case. Because citizens have a huge incentive to adjudicate that whether or not the food or drink is bad for health or not. Because the food and drinks have direct relevancy to their body and lifestyle and health. The very person who will suffering from the food or drinks is the people who takes that food and so on, not the government. Government is not entity that will suffer from unhealthy food. So the person who takes such a food or drink is the best actor to consider about the choosing of the food and drink. So we are not banning the stuntman or bungee jump and so on because of the same reason. So we should respect the freedom of choice for the people.
Thank you for calling. The consensus in this debate is like that. Advertisement is directly connected to or incentivize people to consume certain products. In this debate, opposition already conceded in this point, as my partner already pointed out. The amount of food, unhealthy food they can buy is decreasing even in our model, because we incentivize people to do that. In this debate, this is the trade-off in this debate. I mean that which side of the house is better, that to prioritize the economic benefit from the side of the opposition, or that to prioritize the healthy lifestyle at the end of the day. We believe on the side of the government because we should prioritize the healthy choice of individual person, because those choice is important, because unhealthy lifestyle is at the end of the day directly connected to the death or fatal or irreversible harm. That's why we beg to propose this motion. First of all, I'm going to talk about three issues. I'm going to talk about three issues. Firstly, about the necessity, whether the government is truly necessary to intervene in this situation or not. Secondly, about the impact of sporting events. The entire opposition case is questioned at the end of the day. And thirdly, let me compare the impact of the both sides. Moving on to the first issue about the necessity. The opposition side told you that we should respect the choice. Closing opposition told you we should respect the choice. At the same as the opening opposition. So firstly, we say we do not ban the lifestyle itself, but it is necessary for the government to disincentivize people to live unhealthy lifestyle. Because firstly, those junk food, the uniqueness of, because we already told you, people tend to choose irrational decisions, do not consider the long-term consequence. As my partner already told you, because why junk food is so easily consumed. As my partner already told you, first, it tastes good compared to other healthy food. And second, it is cheap, already opposition side already admitted. And third, it is handy. That's why they can easily have access to those food during the watching TV or during watching matches. In this context, they because the junk food inherently have the nature to easy access for every individual. The government is the only actor who must take care of the. We must take care of those easy access for junk food as exception. That's why this proposal is necessary. They try to explain to you those harm is not addictive. But the extent of the damage, as my partner already told you, is irreversible, because if individual get the diabetes, or they must suffer from the disability at the end of the day. This is irreversible. And secondly, they cause the societal burden at the end of the day, as my partner already told you. That's why the government is the unique actor to restrict those choices. That's why this proposal is necessary. Yes.
However, sponsoring make incentive just during sport event. Therefore, some people eat too much doesn't change. Therefore, just economic harm remains.
Okay, but the fact still remains that decreasing the consumption directly connected to the decrease the amount of the unhealthy food of the people who eat. This is connected to the healthy lifestyle. And secondly, we believe those sporting events create those lifestyles. That's why this proposal actually incentivizes the people to get those unhealthy lives. Moving on to the second issue, as I explained in the second issue. So opposition side told you it is the reason why people eat so much junk food is based on their lifestyle. Or the closing opposition told you that this impact is not so much because it affects the short term during their matches. Firstly, we don't think so because we believe those sporting events create the lifestyle of unhealthy lifestyle at the end of the day. Government side already told you that they are forced to buy those food. Those food during the matches, as government side already told you, in the stadium or in the matches. As my partner already, my partner is told you, the number is totally different from the other cases because the number of the audience or people who watch the WBC or Olympics is totally different from the normal matches, the other entertainment. That's why it is necessary because those everybody is includes the children or includes the people who easily affected by those commercials. That's That's why this proposal is necessary. And second, as my partner already told you, that those advertisements is normalize the people to buy those food at the end of the day. Because for example, in the WBC, Japan, McDonald's get the tie-up from the Japan to show their advertisement or incentivize people in those consistent impact on the mind of everybody directly connected to the normalization of those consumption, because the people believe that tend to believe that those food is not so bad at the end of the day, because the image is gradually changing. And thirdly, as my partner already told you, the image of the brand is changing at the end of the day. As my partner already told you, this is so important, because even after sporting event, they are easily access to those food, because they are normalized or they are affected, or it is good for everybody to eat the junk food. That's why we say it is the government to restrict those choices. Closing opposition told you is the regulation is fine. Okay, the banning is one form of the restriction. That's why this proposal is necessary. So after plan, the logic is quite simple. Because the consumption is decreasing, this means that the amount of unhealthy food is decreasing. The number, those amounts directly connected to the people's healthy choices. That's why our model is effective way. Thirdly, let me compare the impact. Entire opposition case is like that. They lose the profit because the jobs opportunity is big chunk. Firstly, we say it is unrealistic for those food to get bankruptcy. So at least we can prevent those situations. On government side already told you that there is still alternative avenue for every individual person, because to sponsoring those choices, because healthy food company come in those markets. On the other hand, the harm we provided is irreversible, because say people cannot get back the healthy lifestyle at the end of the day, and the burden of the society is irreversible, or the harm is so big, there is no alternative. That's why this proposal is much way to go. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I want to talk about two issues. The first is the status quo seriousness and the necessity to solve this problem. Secondly, I want to talk about how this policy can solve the problem in the status quo. Okay, moving on to my first issue. The entire government say unhealthy food is dangerous. Okay, we somewhat admit, entire opposition somewhat admit unhealthy food is somewhat unhealthy. However, all things have the potential harm. All things have the potentially unhealthy. For example, the driving car may cause a traffic accident. So this causes the death to the driver. This is very, very dangerous. Playing video game may cause lose their eyesight. This is very, very problematic. However, this frequency is so rare case. That's why we want to say unhealthy food is dangerous for their body. However, the important thing is the time to eat, the frequency to eat. This is the important thing for the entire opposition bench. So thank you. That's why burden proof of the entire government is why going sporting event once at the month or once at the 4 years in the Olympic. Why this activity directly automatically cause the unhealthiness of the unhealthy? No, thank you. This is a burden proof. However, they never prove why going sporting event, eating sports event, eating junk food once at a month. Why this is problematic? They never prove.
Points, sir.
No, thank you. That's why, in this sense, their problem is completely doubtful. Okay, moving and one word. So, and this time and frequency to eat. This is very, very important. This analysis came from my partner. My partner talked about time to eat is not so frequent. No, thank you. That's why this analysis is fundamentally important. No, thank you. And secondly, in the status quo, the analysis from entire the analysis from entire government is in the status quo. The all corporation, all sports events sell the only unhealthy food. However, my partner totally doubts this point. My partner talk about in the sporting event, they are not only unhealthy food, no thank you, but also healthy food such as the rice bowl or something like that. These things exist even in the status quo. People can choose these healthy food. And moreover, my partner talk about one alternative way to avoid unhealthy food. My partner talk about the bring the healthy food to the on the sporting event. This is very no thank you. This is very important analysis because this alternative can avoid the entire government's problem because entire government says that to going sports event directly automatically means eating they have to eat the unhealthy food. No thank you. However, my partner analysis is very doubtful this point. Even if they go into the sporting event, we can choose not to eat unhealthy food. That's why this analysis is very important. Yes.
Okay, when you already agree on principle to discourage unhealthy food and drink industry, why don't you ban? Please make your stance clear.
We don't ban unhealthy food. Okay, we want to talk about the unhealthy food, eating unhealthy food on the sporting event. This is not so important. This way never solve anything. This is our stance, clear stance of the entire position bench. No, thank you. Okay, moving. And thirdly, the entire position say all citizens can eat, can manage, can control unhealthy food rationally because they have already educated by the compulsory education. In the compulsory education, we have the various pre-experience. We can run pre-experience. For example, if we get a disease, this is very harmful. This pre-experience is educated in the compulsory education. That's why people can compare the benefit and risk. The benefit to eat unhealthy food, the risk to may get the disease, which is more significant for themselves. All citizens can, compare in the compulsory education. That's why in the status quo there is no seriousness, no problem in the status quo by this. Okay, moving on to my second issue about the solvency to this problem. In the firstly, the goal from the entire government is too far by this solution because the opening the Deputy Prime Minister said, as long as food company, as long as corporation cause the serious harm, the all activities should be banned. However, they never ban. Sorry. So in the firstly, why they don't ban? Their solution is completely never solve anything because entire position have already talked about. After plan, we don't ban unhealthy food. We don't ban. We ban only in the sporting event. We ban only sponsoring in the. We are allowed selling unhealthy food in the public area. No, thank you. That's why their solution never solve anything. Even though this policy never solve anything, our significant right, corporate right, was citizens' choice. This significant right is deprived. In the first citizens' choice, this is very important. To eat what they want in the To eat what they want in the sporting event. This is very important. This accelerates to the enjoyment to the sporting event. No, thank you. And moreover, about the corporate right. The entire government have already admitted that in the sporting event there are huge spectators. So this means the corporation can catch more and more huge number of spectators in the sporting event. This leads to the very huge profit by the corporation. That's why as I said, this policy never solves anything. However, this policy deprives a huge profit by the company, and this proposal deprives the freedom of choice to the citizen what to eat, what they want. This is very serious harm. That's why we brought this.
Okay.